I was at the Happy Birthday Wanda June press conference from Wheelhouse Theater. It was introduced by Jeffrey Wise, the director, and we met Marc, co-founder of the Vonnegut Society, and the company. You'll see them do a couple of scenes from it. There'll be Craig Wesley Divino, Faulconer, Matt Harrington, Kareem Lucas, Kate Maccluggage. I'm sorry I'm messing up names. Jason O'Connell and Charlotte Wise and Brie Zimmer. And then I interviewed Jeffrey Wise, Craig Wesley Divino, Faulconer, Charlotte Wise and Brie Zimmer, and Jason O'Connell.
Why for being here? I imagine that you're here in part because you share, you share some excitement about this play and/or the author of this play, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. We feel, and well, first of all, let me just say, we are super excited to be bringing this play to the Duke on 42nd Street this fall. It's a big jump for our company. We're very new, 2.5 years old, and we're doing it because we really believe in the story, in Kurt Vonnegut's voice right now. We believe that we have a solid production that really amplifies his voice and embraces his sense of play, his irreverence, and his dark humor. And now, especially now, given the issues that come up in this play, from women's liberation to gun violence to violence in general to gender politics to certainly toxic masculinity, we're seeing that now more than ever. I think it feels like in my lifetime I'm seeing that now more than ever. Certainly with the incendiaries and whatnot, it's everywhere. And so I was actually speaking to a colleague of mine last night and talking about how Kurt Vonnegut was ahead of his time as one of America's leading social critics, and I was sort of thinking it's interesting because I feel like what he was responding to in his day is exactly what was happening now, and he just was able to find a voice that connected to the people, that the people were able to appreciate what he was trying to say rather than leaving a bad taste in their mouth because of this sense of humor and his sense of play and his authorship. So it's for these reasons that we feel humbled and excited about the opportunity to try and amplify his voice with this play. But for me, one of the big questions I have is, who is Wanda June?
Hello! I am Wanda June!
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, Wanda June! Happy birthday to you!
Today was going to be my birthday, but I was hit by an ice cream truck before it could happen at the party. I am dead now. I am in heaven! That is why my parents didn't pick up the cake at the bakery. I'm not mad at the ice cream truck driver, even though he was drunk when he hit me. It didn't hurt much. It wasn't as bad as the sting of a bumblebee. I'm really happy here. It's so much fun. I'm glad the truck was drunk. If he hadn't been, I would have not gone to heaven for years and years. I would have had to go to high school first, and then beauty college, and get married, and have babies and everything. Now I can just play and play and play. And anytime I want pink cotton candy, I can have some. Everyone up here is happy. The animals, and the dead soldiers, and the people who went to the elementary tournament. They're all glad for whatever's happening here. Nobody is mad. We're all too busy playing shuffleboard. So if you think of killing somebody, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do it. Whoever you should do it to should kiss you for doing it. The soldiers up here just love the shrapnel, the tanks, and the bayonets that let them play shuffleboard all the time and drink beer. We have merry-go-rounds that don't cost anything to ride on. We have Ferris wheels. We have Little League girls basketball. There's a drum and a bugle corps. Anybody can join. And for people who like golf, there's a par 3 golf course and a driving range with never any waiting. Yeah! And if you just want to sit and loaf, why that's alright too. Gourmet specialties are cooked to your order, dessert at any time, night or day.
taste of Kurt Vonnegut. Obviously a little bit from the play. And I want to introduce right now a very special guest of ours today, Mr. Marc Leeds. Marc is the co-founder and sits on the board of the Kurt Vonnegut Society. And Marc's going to get up and generously say a few words about this play and about Kurt Vonnegut. Thanks, Marc.
One is the Kurt Vonnegut Society.
Sorry. Oh.
And yes, but I'm also a founding board member of the Vonnegut Library in Indianapolis, and our executive director will be here for the opening. Better give up the Mother Night tickets. But I saw this play early in the year, and it was the first time I got to see it staged, though I've been reading it for more than 30 years. And back when it was first published and came out and it was on the stage, there was a lot of confusion because of when it came out. There was a lot of difficulty with returning soldiers from Vietnam. A lot of people thought that Harold Ryan was in some way some commentary that we should apply to the dilemma we have now of believing one thing in policy and our war policy and another thing in backing our soldiers. And this was, probably only settled well after that whole conflict. But these days, as Jeffrey was saying, this play takes on a whole new significance. Because if we look at, let's say, Penelope as sometimes the dither in America, sometimes speaking within the audience, sometimes speaking, or to the audience, sometimes speaking within the play itself, and never knowing which side of that wall she's on, America seems to be dithering, as we do every 4 or 8 years, and now we're living through this again, and we have this return, as Jeff said, this toxic masculinity, and this return to an America which I'm pretty sure most of us in this room don't remember existed anyway. But to have Kurt's words come out at this point in our political life, it's not even a drama, it's real stuff. Thankfully, Kurt's not a drama. I think is tremendously important. The fact that Kurt's words are getting to be spoken like Broadway and the next Wheelhouse in the same night is astounding to me as somebody who's been studying Kurt. As somebody who's been studying Kurt since early in graduate school and spent more than 30 years putting together an encyclopedia about his work, being his friend, and knowing that it wasn't really the money in the end, it was trying to be understood that he wanted. That was the biggest thing. So the fact that new generations, and again, I think Jeff is coming together, putting theater groups together, and applying not just his plays, there are too few, but even something like Mother Night, bringing his words back to the public is always important, because if you take a look at all of his work, there's nothing in our society he has not discussed. And at some point or another, we always have an opportunity to learn from Kurt, and I'm so grateful for this invitation today, and the fact that new audiences will get to see this again this year, because I do think it's a very important play. Thank you.
We could not agree more with you. We completely agree. I just wanted to say a couple words about Wheelhouse, just to give you a context. We've done the transfer to the Duke will be 7 productions. Again, as I said, in 2.5 years. We're moving pretty fast. We're excited to be able to move so fast. Some of the things that we really value as a company, we're very process oriented. We like to come at things from a curious and physical perspective. We really like our plays to be as socially relevant as they can be. We aim to sort of respond to what's happening around us. A lot of the plays that we've done, we've set up in a very fast timeline. Like we got together as a group and said, what needs to be done right now? And then we decided on that, and we did it. So there's a responsive element to what we're doing. I think one of the things that I'm really excited about, and I also directed this play, so I'm also excited about what I've seen as a symbiotic relationship between Kurt Vonnegut's voice and our Wheelhouse's sense of theatrical aesthetic. That he, as I said before, he has this dark humor, this irreverence, and this sense of play that people connect to, and I think that that's something that we value, right? One of the big questions that we ask ourselves is very simple as a company when we approach a play. we telling the play? Why are we doing the play of this story as opposed to the spoken word or the movie or the film or the web series? Why the play? What's theatrical about it? And he has an enormous imagination that fits so well in the theater. And in digging into his play, we've really discovered our sense of play. So he's really helped us in a way, and that's why I think and now we have the opportunity to try and amplify his voice in producing this play on a larger scale here. So it's a really neat symbiotic relationship that I think is exciting, and it's why we are willing to take the risk to, maybe get a little ahead of ourselves and get up to the Duke on 42nd Street because we think that this play is worthy of it. To that end, I want to show you one more little piece from the play. It's the very beginning of the play, and I think it'll become clear why I'm showing you this. It's just a short little snippet. So without further ado, will the cast please come up? Yeah?
How do you do? My name is Penelope Ryan. This is a simple-minded play about men who enjoy killing and those who don't.
I am Harold Ryan, her husband. I've killed perhaps 200 men in wars of various sorts as a professional soldier. Killed thousands of other animals as well, for sport.
I am Dr. Norbert Woodley, a physician, a healer.
Jesus Christ.
I find it disgusting and frightening that a killer should still be a respected member of society.
Isn't it horrible, everybody?
Gentleness must replace violence everywhere, or we are doomed.
Oh. That was great, though.
Colonel, would you like to say something about killing?
Jesus, I don't know. What the heck? Who knows?
Colonel Looseleaf Harper, retired now, dropped an atom bomb on Nagasaki, killing 74,000 people in a flash.
I don't know, boy.
You don't know?
It was a bitch.
Thank you. You can go now. We'll begin.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, everybody. This is the dawning of the age of
This is a
Aquarius.
tragedy!
Sorry.
This is all over my face will be as white as the snows of Kilimanjaro. My husband, who kills so much, has been missing for 8 years. He disappeared in a light plane in the Amazon rainforest where he hoped to find diamonds as big as cantaloupes. His pilot was Colonel Looseleaf Harper, who dropped the bomb on us. I should explain the doorbells in this apartment. They were built by Abercrombie and Fitch. They are actual recordings of animal cries. The back doorbell is a hyena. The front is a lion's roar. Paula, can you play that for me? Thank you. Oh, this is my son, Paul. He was only 4 years old when his father disappeared.
He's coming back, Mom. He's the bravest, most wonderful man who ever lived.
I told you this was a simple-minded play.
And see. All of these actors, and I'm not going to go through individually names, but the whole cast has been so wonderful and collaborative and have lifted. That's interesting. They really lifted this play and their collaborative spirit, and I think we're obviously integral to us getting the coveted critics pick from the New York Times, and really getting a wonderful response both publicly and critically in our spring run. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you have a better sense of who we are. There's some information in the little bags. And if you have, we're going to hang around if you want to talk to any of the actors, whatever, photos, anything like that. We're here for you. We'd love to chat. And we hope to see you at the show in the fall. All right? So thanks very much.
Hello, here we are with...
Jeff Wise.
And you are the director of...
Happy Birthday, Wanda June by Kurt Vonnegut.
So, what made you pick Happy Birthday, Wanda June?
Why did I pick Happy Birthday, Wanda June?
Oh, and give us a little bit about the plot.
Okay, well, Happy Birthday, Wanda June is the story. It's based on Homer's The Odyssey, with the return of Odysseus, and that was his inspiration for writing the play. And basically, Harold Ryan is missing in the jungle. The protagonist of the play has gone missing in the jungle for 7 years and returns back to his Manhattan apartment, and he comes back to find his wife and his son, who is at that time 12 years old. His wife has 2 suitors, and he wants to reclaim his household. He sort of represents this like chauvinistic, blowhard, code hero from the Hemingway days of, masculine glory. And he comes in, he's a big war vet, he's got a big kill list, he's a celebrated hunter, and when he comes back in 1970 to find the country has changed. The cultural narrative has changed, the mentality has changed, and we watch him struggle with how to fit into that, and ultimately he does not fit into that very well, and therein lies the rub for him. And he systematically extricates everybody from his life. It sounds dark, but it's quite funny.
Very interesting views on death.
I'm sorry?
Very interesting views on death.
Well, yeah, that's Vonnegut's irreverence. I mean, he's very funny. So, as in one thing we presented tonight was, this afternoon, was a monologue that he has written for the titular character Wanda June, a little girl who died on her birthday, her 9th birthday, was hit by an ice cream truck. The driver was drunk. And it's this sort of strange thing that weaves through the play, this theme of heaven that he has created, where heaven is just a bunch of people playing shuffleboard, and anybody goes there and everybody goes there. So I think it's Vonnegut's sort of shot at morality. He is taking a stab at this idea that the Hemingway Code hero is somebody who seeks their reward in life. They have who they want, they drink what they want, they eat what they want, they say what they want, because there is no fear of anything happening in the afterlife. Nothing happens there. It's sort of a deeply depressive thought. And Vonnegut is saying, well, if you do that, you strip away all ethics and morality. So he's depicting a heaven where you just go there. And there's other monologues about heaven from one of Harold Ryan's ex-wives that depicts it as a place where there's a tornado and people just bounce around a lot, but nobody ever dies. It's very funny, but it's also quite piercing. Yes.
Okay, here we are with...
I'm Craig Wesley, Divino.
And what part do you play in Happy Birthday, Wanda June?
Colonel Looseleaf Harper.
Oh my gosh, I love that character.
So much. Me too. I love him very much.
When I was a teenager, our community theater did it, and I had a crush on the guy that played Looseleaf Harper. So I like the character. So you bombed Nagasaki. It's like, what was that like for your character?
I don't know, boy. That's all he really has to say about it. It's he's beautifully engaged with every moment of his life that he's in, and I don't want to give anything about the play away. But there is a moment where he really does have to talk about it and engage with that experience. And what's beautiful is in the context of Vonnegut's fun and absurdity, he does talk about the power of saying no in order to have a positive impact.
But what do you know about the atomic bomb? I mean, it's kind of like you know about it in real life, but then your character has a different take on it. But it's just enormous to think about somebody actually had to drop the bomb, and what that person. It's such a cool idea to come up with that character. I mean, Kurt Vonnegut, to think about that sort of thing.
I think that's absolutely true. I think that dealing with the enormity of that action, of taking that many lives, and then somehow finding a way to take responsibility for it and move on, it's the most extreme version of what I think Vonnegut's trying to grapple with, is what is it like to be a soldier? what is it like to take life in the service of potentially saving life, or even just follow orders? I think that's a major theme in the play, and a really hard thing to grapple with. And he does it with humor and with aplomb. And he was there. He saw so much death. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was there for the bombing of Dresden.
Absolutely. By Allied troops. So the fact that he was able to emerge from that experience with so much love for humanity and with his humor intact, I think that's invaluable for us.
And I think that's why everyone just loves Vonnegut so much.
I think that that's absolutely true. I think that he understands that inside of horror there is humanity. And he gives that to us. I think this play is a huge gift.
I agree, and I'm so glad that you're doing it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, here we are with
Faulconer. Hi.
And you are in Happy Birthday, Wanda June, and you play.
I play Paul Ryan. He's 12 years old.
And your father, who you thought was dead, returns. And what's your reaction when you finally get to meet this person you've mythologized?
Well, I think that in the beginning I'm super excited to meet him because obviously I've idolized him for so many years, but then when I really start to see what he's actually like and what it's like to be this close to a hero and stuff, I don't like it at all. It kind of hurts to see that someone I've looked up to my entire life is actually so mean and such a bad person.
You're kind of a hope for the future because you're not going to turn into your father.
Yeah, I agree. I think my character sort of sees what my father's doing wrong and tries to work against that as much as he can.
But it must be difficult because, you're used to, you don't want to hate your father. You want to keep idolizing. It's hard when your idols disappoint you.
Yeah, totally. I think that he has kind of a tough time in the beginning. He really wants to believe that his father is this great, amazing, like father that he's always dreamed of. Like, he's a hero, he's a great dad, but really it's hard for him to acclimate to his father actually being not what he had always hoped,
Well, congratulations on being on this wonderful play.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, here we are with...
I'm Brie, and I'm Charlotte.
And you're both playing Wanda June.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what does Wanda June mean to you?
She's like a little girl who just got hit by an ice cream truck before she could have her party, as you heard in the monologue. Yeah. And it's like, Wanda June is important because she's heaven's not a bad place. Like all these people think oh, she's going to heaven, they're in a better place, and they're right. It's a really great place, and she's this crazy little girl, and just makes the story alive and funny, and it's really great. Yeah. And I just think that it's she's what Charlotte just said, that she's telling people, oh, if you want to kill somebody, just do it. And I think that it brings a lot of more funniness to it. Yeah, it does. It really does. It's it just makes the story more alive and because if it was just oh, my husband got lost and is almost dead or something, it wouldn't be as funny. And it's funny when a little girl is happy about being dead. It's what? Who's happy about that? It's really crazy, and it's great. Yeah. I totally agree. Because Wanda June is very, she's very in the, she's kind of really in the moment, I think. Because, now she's in heaven, so forget about her birthday party. She likes heaven a lot more. And most people would be oh, don't go, don't kill somebody. Don't go to heaven. Heaven may be fun when you're there, but you should have fun in the real one. She's and she basically disagreeing and saying heaven is the best place on earth. Well, isn't even really on earth, but
are basically the optimistic part of the play.
Yeah. But it's like, and I really just like that part when we get to do the floss.
Yeah, the floss.
The dance move, yeah.
It's fun.
Well, it looks like it's a lot of fun to do, is it?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. Like
Yeah.
being out there in front of like a lot of people.
Nice audience, like,
Yeah.
like they laugh at you, and it's really just nice.
Yeah. And like I feel like the best part is at the end when they clap like for you, like they're clapping
Yeah, like a standing
for you,
ovation.
like a standing ovation. It just feels like it's the most incredible feeling. And it's crazy that we're moving up to Times Square because like Times Square is one of the like
crazy.
most popular places in New York City.
Yeah, and
So I feel like we're really gonna be on the market and just gonna be like,
yeah. And that's where all like the Broadway places are, so it's gonna be like very crowded. And people are, oh, it's 1 June, I want to go see that. And that's just, and like with the theaters that are not, like I like those theaters that aren't there, but like it'll be a lot, I feel like we'll have a lot more of an audience maybe, I would say.
yeah, definitely. Cause like the theater we were at last was super duper tiny. It was nice, a little like maybe the size of this whole like bottom floor. It was super tiny. Yeah, including the audience. It was really, really tiny, but it was great and amazing, and it's just super exciting to be moving up. And like we're gonna be like on New York Times like billboards and like
Yeah, it's gonna be so cool.
and like on screens in Times Square. It's gonna be incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really just like, it's really awesome that, especially just for me, I don't know about you, but
it's like very few kids like ever get to do this, and like there's pretty few kid actors. Like I know a few like 15 or 16-year-old actors, but like I don't normally see like our age actors.
Yeah,
Pretty rare. Yeah.
I'm like, but also,
It's such a great part, too.
yeah, that's the amazing part. I just think that it's a very good experience to have.
Yeah.
Like, out of like all of these shows that I've done, it's like, this is like one of the more exciting ones, because like I don't have any opening, like a big opening party for all the other shows I've done.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible, and it's also pretty fun because like all your friends at school will like know, but like they'll know, but they'll be like, oh yeah, you're in a show, like it's like big deal, whatever. But then like if you like be the character at like recess or like when you're at your free time at school, they'll be like, what's happening? And like you can play so many tricks on them. It's so much fun. It's so funny.
Yeah, especially because we're in school, because like we get to leave school really early, and that's very nice. One of those
school.
You go to the same school?
No, we don't.
Which
We
is
go
kinda
like very far away from each
I'm
other.
like all the way down in the water, and she's like all the way uptown.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, ladies.
Oh, here we are with
Jason O'Connell.
who is in,
Happy birthday, Wanda June, at the Duke on 42nd Street.
and you are playing the part of.
Harold Ryan and Major Siegfried von Konigswald, but that other one is kind of it's a little appetizer on the side. Harold Ryan is the main role I play.
You're both kind of evil characters, though, aren't you?
I say that again? Both men with deep, dark tendencies, and a long history of kills, as they're very proud of how much life they've taken in their various careers. So, yeah, they're rough guys.
Oh, yeah, but why don't you explain who your character is?
Okay, Harold Ryan is he's a self-described warrior. He's a man who's come from wealth and privilege, who has been a professional soldier most of his life, and he's been a soldier both for his government and for other governments. He's worked as a mercenary. He's worked as, I think, a hired killer. Vonnegut is pretty not vague so much as he's the possibilities are limitless in terms of where this guy has been and what he's done. But it's what he thrives on. He is an adventurer and a killer. He's a hunter of every type of animal you can think of, including man. And he makes no bones about it, no pun intended. And
incredibly proud. It's a badge of honor. It's his virility. It's everything to him to be a consumer, in that sense of the word, to take and kill and consume and stress his power and his hierarchy as both a human being, but really just as man.
So what happens to a character like that when he's like irrelevant?
Exactly. The play takes place in the early 1970s when Vonnegut wrote it, and the idea is that Harold Ryan has been, they never go into great detail, but he's been lost. He flies off into the Amazon to find diamonds and riches and wealth, and probably just to kill a lot of things on one of his many expeditions, and he disappears for 8 years. And while he's gone in those mid-60s to early 70s, it feels like the world, the culture has shifted under his feet. You know, his wife, his young, beautiful, highly attentive wife, she's now gone to college, which is anathema to him, and she is dating other men because she's presuming he's dead, and those men are pacifists and peace lovers, very educated men who hate the idea of killing, hate the idea of war. So he comes home to a home that does not feel like a home. Everything, all the animal heads on the walls are still the same. The decor is there, but the heart of the home is different. It's a progressive woman and a son who doesn't know him, and it seems like he's a man out of his own time now, and it's not a feeling he's comfortable with. He's never not been on top of everything, and so he feels at a disadvantage, and that manifests itself in all sorts of ways, negative ways.
Yeah, people have moved on, but he stood still in the test of time, literally.
Exactly. There's another character, his friend, that he is, as much as he can have any friends, who is with him when he's gone for those 8 years. Looseleaf Harper is a character that people call like Vonnegut surrogate, and he keeps saying things like, boy, things have really changed. Something very big must have happened while we were gone. He notices the cultural shifts. Harold Ryan has tunnel vision about it. He's like, I'm back. I'm a god. Everything will fall in line because I am man, and I am at the top of the food chain in society, and he doesn't imagine that the world could ever move past him. But his friend sees it. He sees differences in the women, in their confidence, in the way they dress, in the way they talk. He feels that he senses a shift that Harold doesn't, and Harold doesn't know. He doesn't know how to process it. He tries, but the fact that he even has to try to adapt is not, it's not a pleasing notion to him.
So horrible as your character is, he's sort of a tragic figure.
I think so. There are moments in the play where there are very many fourth wall breaking moments, but right at the beginning of the show, and it's a very funny play. But Penelope Ryan, Harold's wife, comes right out and says, "This is a tragedy." Okay, well, tragedy for whom? I think it's really a tragedy for Harold Ryan. He is a tragic figure. He doesn't know what his place in the world is anymore, and in some ways, we speak now about is toxic masculinity having its last gasp, or are some of the things that are happening in our culture, like the dying throes and the raging flails of a beast that doesn't want to die. And I think that's what he is. I think he actually, this play was written in the 1970s, early 1970s, but I think he's a manifestation of that. He is a portrait of that kind of energy, something that a lot of people assumed was gone, or knew its place, knew that it was time to say goodbye, and now it's back on the doorstep, and it's saying, I'm not going yet. You're going to have to kill me. I'm not going to take myself out. I'm not going to cede the way. I'm not going to step aside. I'm here, and the more desperate the animal gets, the more dangerous it becomes. And I think that's what the play's about. And it is, and I think it's tragic because I think you see there are moments in the play where
people try to break through to him, or he is a very intelligent man who sees what's happening around him, and he can make a choice to either give and change, or to be steadfast and ruthless in his pursuit of just moving forward with his agenda. And every time, if you ever, that's a question, if you ever think he is capable of that change, or if he really can move to the side. But that question always seems to be answered with, you know, the tragic response, which is, you know, no, I can't adapt, or I won't adapt. And yeah, and it takes some turns towards the end they're very interesting. I think it's hard to tell where it's going to go in the very end, but it's a cautionary tale in my mind.
So everyone should go see it, and congratulations. I'm glad you're bringing it back.
Thank you so much.
So you've only got till November 29th to see Happy Birthday, Wanda, June. I forgot to put the birthday in the Wanda, June part.